Hey, peace world. Let me jump right into it, man. Bite down boxing. My name is Wood. If you like the way any of the information is being broken down, hit that like button, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your take on any of last night's fun results, interesting results. Please support the channel if you bet on sports. If you're into sports, gambling, or wagering, if you check out if you would consider betus.com, well, bet us for your wagering needs. Go to www.betus.com.pa and start your account using promo code join125. That would help myself or Bite Down Boxing. It is what it is. Look, let's run down last night's fights. I had to get out this morning and get in my rides, my big ride for the week. So I didn't stay up too late after the fights last night, and then I didn't jump up and kind of do any do any commentary this morning. But we'll get into the Ryan Garcia victory over Emmanuel. I've heard Tagoe. They announced him as Tagoe. I'd been hearing Tagoe, in most of the build up to the fight, but it was the return of Ryan Garcia, who many people, you know, once upon a time listed him in the zone, and Golden Boy wants to push him as one of the guys at lightweight. So we'll talk about that fight. Shout out to Shane Mosley Jr. getting a victory over Rosado. I didn't think that would be as one sided as it was. Uh, Marlena Esparza got a victory last night. And then also I want to talk about Lubin and Fundora. So we get into that one. I'm gonna start with the Ryan Garcia. Well, I'll start with Mosley Jr. and Rosado. That's Rosado, man. Have a big moment or a good moment, and then the fight that he needs to win to do the things that he would like to do, he drops the ball. And he kind of tried to sit back and counter and wait for a mistake by Shane Mosley Jr. And Shane Mosley Jr. just boxed pretty well all night long and didn't mess up and gets the victory. Pretty wide cards. I don't know how special the kid is or whatever, man. I'm not trying to tear the kid down. He went in there and defeated, a very seasoned guy in Rosado, and did it pretty easily, and moves on to do bigger things than what he would like to try to get done in his career. Honestly, I didn't make a note if that was at a middleweight or a super middleweight. I know Rosado's been kind of fluctuating and whatnot, but a good win for Shane Mosley Jr. Decent performance. I think we kind of see a ceiling for the guy. And let's be honest, if you're in a division with where Canelo Alvarez holds all the belts, the guys at 160, you got to do something. You got to do something to be able to win the title. And or you wait and see, especially if that was at super middleweight, if that's where he's gonna be, you gotta wait around and see if Canelo vacates all of these belts at some point, and then maybe a lot of other dudes can do some different things depending on how they line up. But like I said, shout out to Mosley Jr. Has had a couple of losses, or at least one loss, and has just kind of had an interesting journey. And I just salute the dude. When you fight and that's your last name, and as dominant as his father was, and had an expectation, have to live and perform with those expectations hanging over you, that's tough. But the kid continues to do his thing, and I just salute him. Looking at the Ryan Garcia and Tagoe fight, he gets the victory 119, 108 on two cards, 118 to 109 on the other. He dropped Tagoe in the second round. Tagoe didn't really come to put up much of a fight and show you what this Ghana Pepper was all about. And I mentioned, leading up to the fight, that he really didn't blow me away when he made his debut on the zone to try to get into the mix. I didn't know if he was going to fight a Garcia, or maybe he was somebody they would try to get in there for Devin Haney, but he didn't really blow me away in his performance. He's not a big puncher. Obviously, he's Ghanaian, I think is how you pronounce it. Good gas tank, and can box, and knows his way around the ring and whatnot, but doesn't really do anything special. And he was retreating most of the night. He didn't really try to test Garcia. He didn't really get in his chest. I didn't like I didn't like his body language. I didn't like his demeanor as a fighter. He goes down very early after being, Garcia was trying to walk him down, put a lot of pressure on him, make him make a mistake, catch him with a check left hook, catch him with a counter left hook. Anytime he was going forward, it was pretty much just a 1-2. I don't know, man. Ryan Garcia gets the victory, but the relation, I don't know. When you're gonna go up against more of the elite guys, you talking about possibly, and they keep throwing it out there for him to face a Gervonta Davis if he takes care of Rolly Romero. You're gonna have to have a couple more tricks in your bag, or a couple more tools in your bag. And Ryan, in my opinion, just kind of throws he throws these short bursts, whether it's the left hook or whether it's the 1-2. But he just does really short bursts of offense. And he said he likes to knock people out. And sometimes he can set a trap or counter a guy with the left hook. Maybe he can do something with the 1-2, but the elite guys are gonna make you do more. They're gonna make you move your feet more. They're gonna make you set some of this stuff up. They're gonna turn you. They may be able to get up from one shot. Some guys are gonna be more offensive minded and doing things to you and dictating the fight to you. So I didn't really like what I saw in terms of doing the same thing for all 12 rounds on a guy like Tagoe, who really didn't do a whole lot offensively. Um, really not a ton of combination punching. He did go down to the body, but again, it was a left hook. Maybe a right hook there, or the straight right hand to the body at different points. But really, you're just gonna have to have more sophistication, in my opinion. If you run into a guy like Shakur Stevenson, maybe even to compete with a guy like Devin Haney, or Lomachenko, or Gervonta Davis, you're gonna need to put a little bit more together than just a left hook and a 1-2. And even the 1-2 isn't always like a well placed jab to blind somebody with the right hand. Sometimes it's just a throwaway jab, or most of the times it's just a throwaway jab to land the right hand. And a lot of guys just aren't going to be there for that type of simple attack, in my opinion. So I really wasn't all that impressed with him. He is coming back from a lengthy layoff. It is the first camp with Joe Goosen back, calling at the helm. So I'm not so critical of the kid, but it's just gonna take more creativity, in my opinion. It's gonna take more of a complex offense when you go against elite guys. Um, he spent the last, and I didn't like how when he got tired, he dropped his hands a lot. Which I'll get into it in just a second with Erickson Lubin about dropping the hands, but he drops his hand a lot. He followed the guy around with his chin up in the air. He fights upright. Uh, and we saw, Campbell drop him in their fight. So I get it. He tries to bait dudes into doing some stuff, or he makes dudes feel comfortable so he can counter them. I see what he's trying to do and whatnot. But again, when you get to fighting the elite guys, but that's the thing. When are any of these guys going to fight one another? Who knows? So I don't know. I thought it was like a C plus performance or a C. And again, Tagoe really wasn't there trying to win. Moving on to the Showtime boxing card. I said again, man. Some people try to talk about the Showtime schedule, and after like presenting what the schedule is and talking about what the schedule is, and getting into a lengthier discussion on it, by the time they were done, some of them tried to tell you that this was a very good schedule, or a really good schedule. This card really, it became something with the main event, and I did have interest in the Towering Inferno. Is this guy just a gimmick, or some kind of a freak, or is it really something? Is it really some substance to this guy? And I salute the dude. I salute the dude. But so going back to the Tony Harrison and Sergio Garcia fight, it's a decent win for Harrison. He outboxed the guy that couldn't box with him. It was a good win for him, and he stays in the mix, I guess, but he didn't really do anything, in my opinion, to like force any kind of issue. He gets another good fight, and that's cool. Who was in the first one? Perella against Salgado. Perella probably got jobbed a little bit on not getting a decision, but you can't do the same thing all night. You got to be a little bit more effective at times, in my opinion. And I don't think he really accomplished that. But he stays in the mix as a PBC guy and can get another fight. I don't think before that fight, I don't think any of us saw him making a ton of noise at 154. And even, after that fight, even if he should have won it, he's still not someone I would it's not like he has a high ceiling at super welterweight. But he a draw or a fight where you should have got a decision and didn't is better than losing. Getting over to the main event, Lubin and Sebastian Fundora. Good fight. Action-packed fight. A fight. Some guys not moving around, not engaging, wasting time, being boring. It wasn't none of that. They got it cracking immediately. And keep in mind, I'm watching this and the Tagoe and Garcia fight at the same time. I didn't even make it over to the ESPN cards last night with Michaela Mayer and Han, or Jennifer Han, I think was her name. I didn't even get to check it out. So a lot of action last night, and I ran out of TV screens or devices. But Lubin goes down at the end of round 2. I know some of us have talked about Lubin's chin at times. I thought the guy showed some grit. He didn't totally lose his composure. He showed that he was able to get up. So that's that. I think his problem was, man, maybe he disregarded, or I can't say that he overlooked Fundora, but maybe, like I said, maybe he didn't regard the guy as a real killer, because you're looking at this dude, he's 6'5". I'm looking at him last night. I don't know how this dude makes 154. But he gets dropped, and it was because he had his hands down. He would not listen to Cunningham, backing away straight up, hands down a lot. I said this before. People talk about clinching and holding, but clinching can be used. It can be used in a beneficial way where it's not you know, maybe you won't get a point deducted from you depending on what referee it is, but there is a way to use clinching to break up the other guy's rhythm or to slow him down, to control him. There is a case for smart clinching. So when you're not turning this guy, when you're not making this 6'5" rangy, long limb guy have to reset and turn and get his everything situated to punch, you stand in front of him all night, backing up in straight lines, taking uppercuts, multiple uppercuts in a row. You really just didn't make this dude work a ton. All he had to do was throw punches. He knew where you were going to be, and he connected a lot. And you saw Erickson Lubin's face come apart. My man Latours Harrison of the Conceited Nobody said he was looking like a Klingon, you know, with the hematoma in the middle of his face. He had I think it was the right side of his jaw. It looked like it might have been broken or something, but his face came to pieces, and he just wouldn't keep his hands up. You got a guy that's 6'5" with a hell of a wingspan and everything. It's gonna be hard to back straight up and stay out of the range from this guy. So he took a lot of shots. His face goes to pieces. He's bloodied up. You know, what round was that? I can't. I didn't write that down. But his face was full of blood. But he comes back in round 7 and has this big rally and drops Sebastian Fundora. Fundora, he says, you know, I got hurt. I knew I couldn't continue to take. I couldn't take more shots and regroup, so he just took a knee. You know, if that kid is that, and he's a bit of a goofy guy in a way, personality-wise, he's a good kid, good-spirited kid. He's like, look, I just needed to take a minute and regroup, so I dropped back and took a knee. I knew that I couldn't take multiple shots, like I said, and recover, so I just decided to take a knee, you know, give up a 10-8 round. Interestingly, they only scored it as a 10-9 round. I got in trouble on Instagram a few weeks ago for talking about a Mick Conlon in the round late in the fight when Mick Conlon was dropped. I was shocked that all 3 judges said it was a 10-8 round in a round where I thought Mick Conlon was kind of winning it up into the knockout, which came late in the round. So that just shows me right here, they can give you a 10-9 round, or the judges can decide to give you a 10-9 round, despite the fact that you get dropped. You know, so people on Instagram weren't trying to hear that. But yeah, so he drops Fundora with about 25 seconds left. It was a left hook in there that I think that he hurt him with. But he landed some right hands as well. And it was just like a spirited moment for, you know, for Lubin trying to stem the tide, or you know, a late rally. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough time for him to capitalize on it in terms of getting a stoppage, and he really needed that stoppage. But he was tired from that rally in round 8. Erickson Lubin, in my opinion, was tired as hell and really couldn't put up much of a he couldn't follow it up, you know, couldn't follow up that big rally with the whole lot. And Fundora is back throwing punches, banging, brawling, and mixing it up. And like I said, the dude can't keep his hands up. He would not tie the dude up, you know, and or grab that glove and hold and on the opposite side of the referee. He just did not do the things that coach or trainer Kevin Cunningham wanted him to do earlier in the fight. And I think he was made to pay for it. We get into a brutal 9th round where he's getting caught with a lot of shots. You know, Fundora's a volume punching guy. And like I said, when you got a guy where you know where the hell he's gonna be the whole fight, he just threw multiple uppercuts and kept his energy up, kept his volume going, and just overwhelmed Lubin. Lubin comes over to the corner after the 9th round, and Kevin Cunningham has seen enough. You see this guy's face is looking the way that it's looking. good call, and a caring call, a compassionate call, and doing his job as a trainer. And Lubin didn't put up much of a, he didn't express that he was pissed off by the fight being stopped. But his opportunity in calling the fight, his opportunity, everything that he worked to get back into the picture for, everything went away in that split second. And so for me, knowing what they battled back from, I know he may have saved his career or prolonged his career or kept him healthy, but I think just to not get him back in the seat on the stool and say, look, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Because you did this in the 7th round. You rallied you dropped this dude in the 7th round. Look, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna try to give you 45 seconds. I'm gonna try to give you a minute. You got to go out here and make it happen now. If I see you take big shots or a flurry, I gotta call it. But you got to make it happen right here, or it's a wrap. And I don't know. Like I said, I think knowing where he is in his career, and maybe you get a dude to go out there and really gut it out and take a shot at it, and maybe he could have hit, maybe he could have been first, from the first 10 seconds or whatever. But like with that decision, he kind of threw in. But like I said, man, if he would have done what the dude was telling him to do early in the fight, 2nd or 3rd round, hey, turn this guy. Don't just stand right in front of him. Tie him up. Keep your damn hands up. Where's your head movement? Just the fundamentals. He threw everything out the window and took a pun. Had a punishing night. And where do you go now? Where do you go? So, but shout out to Fundora. Hey, I can't really say that he didn't go out here and win this fight. He won that fight. But Lubin was cooperative. He was pretty compliant, in my opinion, in fighting a style that was tailored for what Fundora likes to do. But shout out to that kid, man. I like what he said after the fight. Good personality. Like I said, good spirited young dude. Gets a big win. I said, it was a little unfortunate that he had to face a dude like a Lubin to get to a title fight, when sometimes you would face a dude like a Lubin for a vacant title. He had to go and get it, and he went and got it. And it was an excellent fight. I think he definitely solidifies himself as being a real dude. So we'll see what happens. We got to see what happens with Charlo and Castano too, to know how all of these guys who are kind of contenders or right there in the mix, what can any of them do next? How long does Charlo stay around at that weight? Could it be another damn draw? Could Castano, could he have frustrated Charlo with making him wait and the delays and whatnot? Maybe we don't get the guy at Undisputed that would be the favorite right now. Maybe that's not the dude who any of these guys got to go fight. But like I said, man, good win for Fundora. I like the sister boxes. I think his father is his chief second, or is one of his trainers, and he made a great statement last night. A bloody affair, bust this guy's face up. I was impressed. So shout out to Sebastian Fundora. I don't know where Lubin goes. Younger guy. What did they say he is? 26. You're gonna be on the men for a minute after that beating right there, and a big knockout at the hands of Jermell Charlo a few years ago. has taken some big shots here and there in this 6 fight win streak that he had, in at least 2 of the fights, I believe. And now here you just, you get beaten badly. Uh, Interesting moment for that young man. So that's it, man. Let me get on off of here. Bite Down Boxing again. Check out betus.com.pa. Betus, betus.com.pa, and use promo code JOIN125. You can help out BDB. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.